Welcome to the show. I am Rushion McDonald, the host of Money Making Conversations Masterclass, where we encourage people to stop reading other people's success stories and start planning their own. Listen up as I interview entrepreneurs from around the country, talk to celebrities, and ask them how they are running their companies, and speak with nonprofits who are making a difference in their local communities. Now sit back and listen as we unlock the secrets to their success on Money Making Conversations Masterclass.
Hi there, this is Rushion McDonald, and welcome another day. Some people, depending on what part of the country you are living in, a rainy day. But again, I'm here providing information I feel will be useful to you. It's up to you to grade the usefulness of it. But again, I try to bring individuals on the show that I engage in their life, how their success stories, their secrets to success. And in the process of revealing those pathways or those journeys, it may drop some information in your direction that can help you figure out something or expand on an idea or concept that you may be stumped on. Or you may contact them personally because they may have a task or maybe doing something that engages you to want to know more information, because I always ask them for their contact information. Again, this is Rushion McDonald. I host this weekly Money Making Conversation Masterclass show. The interviews and information that this show provides are for everyone. It's time to stop reading other people's success stories and start living your own. And if you want to be a guest on Money Making Conversation Masterclass, just go to moneymakingconversations.com and click the Be a Guest button. Fill out the information, press submit. That information will come to me, and if it's information I feel will warrant an opportunity to be interviewed on this show, and you provide information that will make other people's lives better who listen to the show, you'll be sitting right next to me or calling in next to me. Let's get this show started with my guest. My guest created the company Paint Your Heaven. He's based in Kansas City. His company's unique combination of technical expertise and design skills experience makes him an ideal creator for web, app, and software design, as well as development. Please welcome to Money Making Conversation Masterclass, Suli Salam. How you doing, Suli?
Every day is a good day. How you doing today?
Pretty good. Now, Paint Your Heaven. Let's start out with that name right there. Where did that name come from for your business, Paint Your Heaven?
Well, it's a phrase that really inspired me as a young man, getting right into adulthood. I wanted to spread that message that as long as you have a clear vision of what you want in life, you can, make it happen. And this is how we're being an asset to other companies, helping them bring their visions to life as well.
Now, at what age? I know, like certain times, I always tell people, a young mind, you can provide information that can stay there forever. How old were you when you were impacted by this phrase?
22 years old.
Mm-hmm.
22 years old. I just got into the self-help book, learning about the law of attraction and the power of the mind and positive thinking. And coming from a challenging neighborhood as a child, learning the positive of positive thinking really transformed my mind and my life.
Really, when I talk to Suli, an incredible developer, web designs, and I don't want to insult him because there's a lot of people out who designs websites. He does more than that. He programs. He's a stack developer. Isn't that correct, Suli?
Yes, sir. Full stack developer, front end and back end.
Okay, explain to people the difference, because there are a lot of people out there, they claim to do websites, but then when you start trying to get into the full stack end, that's when they run off and they disappear. So tell everybody about the full stack development aspect of your abilities.
So full stack is more so, for example, creating an app like Uber, whereas basic web design would be like your landing pages for small businesses, so on and so forth. We can go as far as the mind can imagine.
Now, when you say that, because I want to make sure you separate yourself, because there's a lot of people out there getting business, have frustrated me, okay? I sit down with them. They claim they do something else, and basically they're doing a knockoff of a template in some ways. In some ways, you can do it yourself. I'm saying not just me. I'm talking about not referencing you, but anybody out there can do that because they have templates out there. And
right.
And so when you say full stack, that means that someone can come to you, Sully. I'm just being the person that's talking because I have done business with Sully. He has, and I'm just let everybody know that. That's why I brought him on the show. I wouldn't bring a stranger on the show that I didn't do any business with because of the fact that what he's offering and what he brings to the table is a very unique skill set, especially from a African American standpoint. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
Why do you think there are not enough black full stack developers in the game?
Self-belief. I think that in our community, it's actually still very rare for us to be extremely confident in what we're able to accomplish.
And when you say that, Sully, you know, something triggered you now. Okay, because you said earlier, maybe in much detail, you said, look, where I grew up in, the neighborhood I grew up in, they wasn't motivating you. They wasn't encouraging you. There'll be more people telling you what you can't do versus what you can do. Tell us about your upbringing that allows you to be the person. And you're very inspirational. You're always motivating. Every time I ever spoke to you, you've always been upbeat. And you may have had some bad days when you've spoken to me, but you always maintain that upbeat personality. Talk about your background.
Yes, so I come from humble beginnings. Two parents that I really admire and have a lot of respect for. I have to really give my mom a lot of credit for the self-belief that I have. As a kid, a lot of moms tell you that you can do whatever you put your mind to. And I believe my mom when she said that, you know, when you walk outside into the, you know, from the, you know, in the neighborhood that I grew up in, there's a lot of negativity going on. So everything that you went outside extremely excited about, you know, your friends and, you know, people around are, you know, shooting down your ideas just from a place of unhappiness, lack of self-belief on their end, which is understandable in the circumstances that we were growing up in. My whole thing was just putting a plan together where I can change the trajectory of my family, be an asset to my parents and, you know, everyone that I care about and also the world. Just making sure that my existence makes a difference.
Those are powerful statements. And I come from that neighborhood, you know, Fifth Ward, Houston, Texas, a community where, you know, if I went back, there's not a friend of mine who I grew up with. If they stayed in that neighborhood, they are not alive today. It was just that type of neighborhood. You don't live long in those neighborhoods. You don't retire in those neighborhoods. Those neighborhoods wear you down and basically kill you because of the stress, the community, the type of environment. There's no upward mobility tied to those communities. There's no positivity. You know, the outreach is very limited. And so you have to be around people who think you can be better than what you are. And it started with your mom. And then you had to go to school. Somebody in the adulthood of academia saw you, Sully, and said, you can do this. Who was that person?
I think the first person I would like to credit is my teacher, Mr. Odom. I've always been a very creative kid, and especially during high school, I was, you know, a visual artist and also a creative writer. And my teacher believed in me so much. You know, I did a lot of music, and he used to write notes for me to skip class and watch Tupac documentaries just to try to. It sounds funny, but it's real. You know, he would do that, you know, and remind me that Tupac was no longer here, and how easy it is for me to go in the wrong direction, and how I can actually do something with my creative mind.
Wow. You know, when I think about you, please tell the people the name of your website, because I want them, as we talk, they have time to go to your website so they can see the creative mind and the personality that I'm talking to. What's your website?
PaintYourHeaven.com.
And PaintYourHeaven.com. And on that website, we'll find what?
You'll find examples of some of the work that we've created.
And how, when one brings an idea to you, like I brought an idea to you and sat down, sketched it out. Some of it was pretty detailed, and then you come back to us. So if somebody's listening on this call, they say, I want Paint Your Heaven to design a website to me, or I want Paint Your Heaven to develop a app for me, because you do apps as well, correct?
Yes.
Now, I want you to explain something to me. You have an app, you have a website, right? Do you have a mobile version of that website, correct?
Yes.
And then you have an app. What is the difference between the mobile version of that website and the app?
Well, the difference is this: native functionalities. So when you go on a mobile version of an app, you typically aren't able to use Face ID, Apple Pay, push notifications, so on and so forth, like GPS, like geolocation.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the difference, like having those functionalities natively in the, working with the phone.
And that's really important. So you would encourage anybody who has a business to have an app?
I would encourage. I wouldn't say anyone who has it. Depends on the size of the business.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Depending on the size of the business. If you're looking to scale, definitely.
Mm-hmm. 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 And so when you say skills, there are a lot of competition out there, especially overseas. I know that the Indian market in India is very competitive, if I'm not mistaken, in the programming world. Very competitive in the programming world. I'm just going to ask this question: why do you think that's like that? Why do you think? Is that something that a difficult question for me to ask you? Because I'm just taken aback when I know that's for a fact that programming over there is kind of like second nature.
Yeah, like it's very common there. I think it's the culture. It's something that they can see a future in, and a lot of them train in it early on and get into it right away. And I think that's the big difference. I think that we're getting more into it here in the States now.
Right.
I think they've been doing that for a while.
I know, and it's like a 6 hour swing hour time difference and things like that. So I'm talking to Suli Salam. He's the creator, developer, and the owner of Paint Your Heaven. His website is paintyourheaven.com. If you want to see some of his work, web app and software design and development. When you talk about you yourself, sir, you started from scratch.
Yes, sir.
22. You was motivated by Paint Your Heaven. That's part of your company name. It is your company name, your brand, your thought process.
Mm-hmm.
How did you know you had skills for this?
It's that. So starting off, there's nothing that I could point to that would actually make sense for me to know that I had skills in it. So when I first started off, I just knew that I could do anything I put my mind to. So I wanted to create an app for myself.
Okay.
And I was able to complete it. And I used Wix actually for my first, big development project for myself. And I built a social media app using Wix's platform for the website, and then I developed native functionalities and actually released the app into the Apple Store and also Android. Wix corporate called me and said they've never seen anyone do this with a platform before, and let me know that anything I need, they're here to support me. They appreciate using their platform, so on and so forth. And I became a partner with them, and that's kind of the moment where I knew, like, okay, I might be special a little bit.
So please give me a little bit more background on this software, social media app that you designed through the Wix platform, which is a very popular website-based design platform that people use. A lot of People go there for templates. It's very very design friendly. And so you sat down and you designed something that they had never seen before. The company Wix had never. All these programmers they have over there, and nope, not a program over there has ever thought of this concept that you put out there. That they called you and went, "Wow, what's your name, sir? Call us next time you start thinking real hard because we want to talk to you." That's basically what they said, right? My full stack developer, Suli Salam. Suli, your company Paint Your Heaven. I got one text came in, had this question for you.
Okay.
What does native functionality mean?
Native functionality.
Mm-hmm.
An example is push notifications would be the simple, answer for that. Push notifications on your phone. So if you have an Uber driver on your way and you get a notification that says it's 5 minutes away,
right?
That is a native function.
Okay, cool. I think that's been answered. Now, when we go from the big picture, when you started your company, as you are right now, what is the big picture of your company? What's the destination? What's the landing you want to be? Because you're based in Kansas City, right?
Yes.
Okay, what is the big picture of Paint Your Heaven?
We want to serve businesses worldwide, from startup to established businesses looking to scale. And then we also want to launch the non-for-profit side, where we go into inner city communities and teach the power of the law of attraction and positive thinking.
Now, does this also include AI?
Yes, it does.
And now, how do you work AI, which is artificial intelligence, and that's the big buzzword nowadays? And I went to an AI seminar last Thursday, and it just blew me away from the standpoint of all these platforms you have out there that are allowing you to just read documents, and it'll tell you what's valuable key points in the document. You don't have to read documents anymore. It'll tell you look up insurance keywords in this document and tell me what they are, and it'll tell you what the document is. How do you incorporate AI into your full stack development?
Well, fortunately, there's such a big pool of developers now. Mm-hmm. A lot of the AI tools and stuff that we incorporate into our project are via APIs. So we're able to kind of piggyback off of some of the work that some developers have already got to this point, and then we can tap into their API,
right?
And we can expand upon it, if that makes sense.
Okay, cool. Now, when you expand on, and I'm gonna just tell you this, Suli, you know the language. Now, when you start saying API, that's why a person texts me about that native functionality. You have to really dumb this down, okay?
It's essentially one web application talking to another.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So say ChatGPT has an API.
Right.
And I want to create an avatar version of myself that has the knowledge of ChatGPT. I can use ChatGPT's API to connect it with my avatar.
Okay. And so when you do that, it's important that we maintain some type of level of communication. So let's go from day one. Why would somebody contact Paint Your Heaven? What's the reason to be contacting you?
You have a big idea.
Mm-hmm.
You want a quick turnaround and someone who's flexible in how they work with you.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So when they present that idea, what do you give back to them? Do you put down a retainer? I'm just trying to say the process so people will know. They just can't. It might be 5 people. I got an idea. Just be contacting you, Suli. You go, oh. You may have heard me. It doesn't work that way. This is how I do business. You send me a proposal. Just don't call me talking about an idea. Send me a proposal. How does that work?
Yeah, I would say, send a proposal. Make sure you already have a budget in mind of what you have allotted for this project.
Yes, sir.
And then on our end, we can let you know how realistic it is for us to get the entire project done within that budget,
right?
And also let you know what we can do within it.
Cool. So when you're producing these workable software packages, and you're a team player, you keep updating. You already said they got things you can tap in, APIs you can tap into that already this works, so you can use it to your process. So don't have to go through this learning process or this learning curve, because this particular plugin that you can add into the programming will make it work. So what is can you share with us a couple of concepts that you have done that's available, like you shared with us the social media platform that you created with Wix, that we can go to and see some of your work, or is that's too private?
Man, I want to share. Okay. I would.
Or just talk about the concept. Just talk about the concept, with not in generalities, so we'll know just some of the range of work that you've done. I apologize for putting you on the spot.
Right now, behind the scenes,
yes, sir. Mm-hmm.
We're working on a project that simplifies the post-audio production process. So whether it's podcasts, movies, music, so on and so forth, essentially you will be able to cut your time down, in half, as far as how long it takes you to be ready for market. So that's something that we're working on now.
So what do you mean? You're designing something? I got a podcast. Right. So how would it work for me?
So how it would work for you it's essentially one button technology.
Okay.
So instead of having to go through and EQ your voice and set up the compression, I'm sure you have a template now.
Right.
But say you're in a new environment and you're getting an echo, and you click the button, echo is gone.
So it cleans up the audio for you.
Yes, it does.
Now this is helpful for me. Now, I'm a novice. Now I got full-time employees. So if I'm just a regular guy, I start my podcast. I don't know how to edit or any of these things. I definitely don't know how to do, with the Pro Tools. I think that's the term they use for audio cleanup. And so this packet, is this something you're building for somebody, or are you building it within your office, within your company, Paint Your Heaven, so you can make available to people who want to use it?
This is something that I'm building for another company.
Okay.
That I'm actually involved in as well.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And you see a need for that?
It's a huge need for it. So on the music side, essentially you can upload your stems.
Okay.
And stems are like your musical instruments tracked out.
Mm-hmm.
Your vocals tracked out, so on and so forth. Click the button, you're ready for market.
Wow.
Yes.
So let me tell you something, Tuli. I don't know if you're just super confident, or you don't know. That's pretty huge what you just said. They're major corporations. There are labels out there that going, okay, now we got a problem with this. This cut the middleman and the side man and the third person out. This is straight to market. This is somebody in their bathroom cutting music, and now they distribute it and they selling it. And they don't need a board man. They don't need a studio. They don't need anything. That's what you're saying, right?
It doesn't cut out the engineers.
Okay.
So I'm an audio engineer as well.
Okay.
I won like third in the big competition coming straight out of high school in audio engineering. I'm extremely passionate about it. Mm-hmm. This is more of an asset to the audio engineers.
Okay.
More so than cutting them out of the picture.
Okay, cool. But these are the type of creative ideas that you come up with at Paint Your Heaven. And when are you a solo man? You got a full staff? How you working over there, man? What's the company look like over there?
Yes, we have a team. I can't take credit for everything. We're still growing.
Well, you're writing the check, so take credit, my friend. And so the big picture is, like you said, is being able to set the rate, being able to be creative. You do website development, you do app development, you do full stack development, an area that we talked about earlier. Not enough people of color, especially not enough African Americans participating. The country of India has a dominant voice in the full stack programming. I know that for a fact. I've been knowing that for years. It always amazes me. Sometimes you will call 1-800 numbers, and guess what? They're connecting you into India for technical service and technical advice. That's true. You can you've heard it yourself personally. And that's an industry that, in a sense, like he said, if we can just make our community like that, if we can start creating, neighborhoods where young black kids can become just like they're doing in India. It's not that hard, but we have to start understanding the value of STEM programming, STEM education. That's the next step. AI should not be something that we run from. We should run towards it. If you had to give any advice as we close out this interview, Sulu, what would it be to our young people and our adults, for that matter, when it comes to programming as well as AI?
I would like to say, I would almost want to piggyback off what you just said and say, run towards change. Don't be afraid of it. So no matter if you're in this industry or whatever industry that you're in, always run towards the change. Don't be afraid of it.
Wow. I appreciate you, my friend. We're going to talk soon, of course. Again, paintyourheaven.com. Please visit if you have time and just see the creative mind of Suli Salam. Thank you for coming on Money Making Conversation, my brother. And, I know Kansas City known for that good barbecue. So, when I'm in barbecue country, I'm going to stop by and say hi.
There we go.
This has been another edition of Money Making Conversation Masterclass, hosted by me, Rushion McDonald. Thank you to our guests on the show today, and thank you, our listening audience. Now, if you want to listen to any episode or want to be a guest on the show, visit moneymakingconversations.com. Our social media handle is Money Making Conversation. Join us next week, and remember to always lead with your gifts. Keep winning.